Hey everyone, happy Friday. Amy, Jo, and I are here. We wanted to jump on with Mother's Day coming up this weekend to celebrate and take a moment to say thank you to all the wonderful women in our lives. Moms are so influential in our lives. I know how influential my mom has been for me, and you teach your children so many things about, how to interact with others and how to learn new things or how to get back up when you've fallen down. I've always known that I wanted to be a mom, and Svea has just been the greatest gift ever. I knew that I was going to be teaching her so much, but I didn't anticipate the amount of things that I would learn from her and just the impact and the growth that she's had on me. And so I'm just so excited to keep seeing how we both can grow together.
That's fun. I think of the three boys. I have three sons and they're adult sons, but I think especially what I'm grateful for is that they gave me grace and love when I maybe didn't deserve it. So I really appreciate that. And we're just especially grateful for you women of 10 Capital. We are so honored that you trust us and that we get to work alongside of you. So we just wish you a happy Mother's Day. Maddy, you were a college volleyball player, and you shared just a really great drill, but kind of how it relates to the market chaos that we've been having lately. Share that, it's really great.
Yeah, so I played college volleyball down in California. My coach actually played at Wazoo, and she introduced us to this drill called chaos. It was the chaos drill. Volleyball's already really chaotic, but she would introduce extra chaos. She would throw the ball at the wall, she'd hit it off the block, and the whole point of the drill was there are so many things going on around you out of your control, and we want to make sure that we can focus on the things that we can control. We can be in the right position. We can be ready to go. Then how do you respond to that chaos after it happens? And one of two things would happen. You would either control those things and it would go well, and it would gradually, the chaos would kind of go away, and then the next point would be better and there's less and less chaos. But if you don't control those things, then the chaos becomes you, and then it feels like everything is out of your control. And so it just really resonated with me and brought me back to where we're at now, where there are things out of our control. We can't control where the markets are going and what they're doing. And so that kind of just brings me back around when Jake Tim here at the office says there's the math and there's the emotion behind investing. And both of those categories have things that are outside of our control and the things that we can't control. And when we're thinking of the things on the math side that we can control, we invest based on fundamentals. Companies that are profitable, like Stephanie Link said, she doesn't invest in a company if she hasn't met the management team, which I think is fantastic. Having a diversified portfolio, that's your first line of defense. And we're not necessarily trying to keep you from having any losses, but we're trying to position you to where we can kind of rebound and bounce back after these turbulent times. The other piece is spending, income, not as exciting things, but totally within our control, and it can help us kind of make sure we're staying on the right track. And then the last thing that we can control is we don't want to be selling at the bottom. And when we have those thoughts, it's driven by fear, and that's understandable. Like, there's the math and the emotion, but if you are really thinking to yourself, I gotta sell, this is too scary, I gotta get out, when would be the time that you would get back in? Be honest with yourself. It might be back up here. Now we've locked in that loss and we've bought at the top, and that's really what we're trying to here as advisors, trying to help coach you through and advise you through, and help make sure that you don't make those mistakes that are gonna have a long-term detrimental effect. I really like Carl Richards. He said the best investment that many people make over time is a house. And it's not because the housing market is having these astronomical returns over time, but it might be the only investment that someone's gonna hold for 20 years, 30 years. Mm-hmm. And that compound effect is wonderful. And when you allow it to do its job, when you allow it to compound. And so I think that that's just a great reminder to us all, when the markets are down, we're not looking, should I sell my house today? Should I sell my house today? So why do we look at our portfolio in that same way?
I know, and it's such a fear-driven decision. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to share a story with you as well. And this one is about a grandfather who was teaching his grandson about life. And he is telling him that there's this terrible fight going on inside of him. and it's between a good wolf and a bad wolf. And the good wolf is joy and peace and compassion and humility and empathy. And the bad wolf is anger and sorrow and regret and bitterness. He then says, you know, you, my grandson, have this fight going inside of you as well. And so does each one of us. So the grandson looks at him and he says, well, Grandpa, which wolf wins? And the grandpa just tells him, the one that you feed the most. And so I think it's a really great analogy that slides alongside the emotions in investing. And I think that fear factor, you talk about selling at the bottom, it just raises its head in various different ways. And so as we think about how we're going to feed that good wolf, which is wisdom, let's think about that, you know, sticking to a discipline plan, meeting regularly with the advisor. We're available, you know, call us. Focusing on personal goals rather than comparing yourself with peers and benchmarks. Practicing gratitude for what you do have, your stability and your financial plan, and teaching your children about stewardship rather than just accumulation. So I just kind of want to challenge you all. Which wolf are you going to feed?
That's such a powerful analogy, Amy Jo. I love that. And you know, we can wake up every day and intentionally choose which wolf are we going to feed. And when there's so many things going on around us outside of our control, let's really focus on the things that we can. With Mother's Day, it reminds me of a quote that my mom always says that I think is really relevant right now: accentuate the positive and alleviate the negative. And I think especially in times like these, it's so helpful to remember and just kind of take a pause and reset our mind. So thank you everybody, and we hope you have a fabulous Mother's Day weekend.